Today's quite an emotional day for me and Bee. It's quite a strange feeling because we absolutely love our land in Portugal, but we are now leaving for a very long time. We are heading to another continent and we couldn't be more excited.
Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. As Theo said, it is a bit of a bittersweet day, but I'm super excited.
The last 2 weeks have been very busy for us on the land, packing everything up and getting ready to leave for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but we are shipping the van and ourselves and the cat to Canada.
Not that we've mentioned it.
Yeah,
at
you
all.
might not have heard us say it 100,000 billion times, but that's actually finally happening.
And we couldn't be more excited to bring you guys to a whole new continent.
So we're just taking our last walk along the land, and I can't think of a better way to say goodbye than to touch every single bush and just basically take it all in. I am going to miss this place.
I'm definitely going to miss doing this with a golf ball. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! The last few weeks haven't been plain sailing and actually have been pretty stressful, and one of the reasons for that is we've been running around like headless chickens, getting the land ready and cleared so that we can lock up and leave it for a long time. It's not easy and there's lots of things to think about, but the main reason we were stressing out is our US visa. We applied online, we paid the money, and then we went to book it in London and there was no slots available. We rang up the embassy and they wasn't helpful at all. They just told us basically just keep looking, but they couldn't tell us when they were going to give out new slots for a visa interview. So basically we looked online 3 times a day, every day for a few weeks, and we finally found a slot, but not in London. We found one in Belfast. So that means now once we get back to the UK, we've got to fly to Belfast and go and have our visa interview there. So that's going to take a bit more time than we wanted to because we got so many other tasks to get sorted in the UK before we can fly to Canada. Is everything packed? Are we ready?
That is it. I've just put the bag away. You always feel like you've forgotten something, and I know we probably will have forgotten a really special pair of socks or something, but you can always buy socks in Canada, and now we're ready to rumble.
Ginjey is waiting really patiently at the side door, ready to go. She knows we're going to hit the road. You're gorgeous, aren't you?
Can I just butt in and give you guys a top tip when it comes to travelling with a cat? If you've got a cat that's like Ginjey, aka obsessed with food, just don't give them their lunchtime meal and they will linger.
Look at her. Are you excited for Canada?
Ready to rumble, aren't you? So we pulled up in this foresty location last night, and I'm just taking the cat for a walk because we're in a pine forest and a lot of the trees around here have got the processionary caterpillars. There's Ginjey on her lead. She's so good on the lead. And if you've not heard of processionary caterpillars, they're basically caterpillars that are toxic to humans, cats and dogs, and we really don't want Ginjey biting into one of these caterpillars. We don't have them where we are in Portugal, so she's always been okay there. But there's a lot of them around here. If we see any, I will show you them on camera, but for now, it's lead walks so she's safe. And this spot is absolutely gorgeous because we pulled up here in the dark last night and we had no idea what it looked like. We found it on Park for Night. We're the only people around. It's a little bit breezy, and actually, there's a tap right there, so we're going to fill up on our water. She does so well on her lead, and you can see that she's happy. Her tail's up, she's sniffing around, and she doesn't really care that she's got a harness on, or me following her with the lead right behind her. She's such a good girl. Aren't you a good girl, Ginjey? And it's actually a really good thing that Ginjey's happy being on the lead, because whilst we've got her on the lead here because of the processionary caterpillars, there's definitely a lot more scary animals over in Canada. And we've had quite a few of you guys send us messages saying about cats that have been picked up by wild animals there. So she's going to be on the lead there an awful lot, but she's so good on it that it doesn't matter. So here's the tap, which is perfect. Actually, you know what? Should we see if it actually works?
No way. So I literally just moved the van. We were so hyped that there was water, and then we didn't even try the tap. That is a schoolboy error.
I'm gutted. I bet we get a lead then, aren't we?
Right, let's hit the road. So we have made it to France, and we are not far from Bordeaux, and we have just spotted something that if you live in a house you might not be very excited about, but for us smelly travellers we are definitely very excited.
It's made my day. I'm an absolute loser, but we spotted it when we were just driving down the road, and honestly it couldn't have come at a better time. So these laundrettes are amazing. They have them all around Europe, and they've got a small, a medium, and then they've got a nice big dryer here. And they're great because you don't have to have cash. You can do it with your card. So I've taken up the whole place. I've got my delicates, my underwear, and then my clothes. And it's going to be about 35 minutes. And then once they're done, I can just bung them in the dryer together, and that's all sorted. I absolutely love these places. They're so convenient because you can just drive right up to them, and I'm going to make lunch whilst our stuff is washing. And we can't exactly keep a washing machine in the van with us, can we? So this is ideal, and it'll all be done and dusted within an hour.
Ginjey, watch out. Your mommy's back.
Hello!
She wouldn't move.
This is so warm, it's lovely.
I think we have too many clothes, judging by what you're carrying.
Yeah, we need to really actually thin down the amount of clothes we have before we get to Canada, because it's really heavy actually. Cuddling friends!
You've literally got me in a chokehold. That is uncomfortable.
Oh, soz.
Right, get comfortable.
You've got a shorter torso
Yeah,
than
this
me.
is not working.
This always happens. Are you comfy?
Yes.
I'm just... Look at us sitting together. Look at the camera. I'm so much taller than you.
Right, we are super tired. We have been driving many, many miles. I think it's nearly 900 miles now on this journey. And we've still got 400 to go.
Yeah, we're 400 miles from Calais because we're actually going to get the channel over to Folkestone in the UK this time, because it's fast and it means we can stay in the van with Ginjey Bear, and I prefer it to ferries, especially because at the moment there seems to be the maddest weather going on in like the UK and stuff, storms everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on a ferry.
I would prefer to take the ferry just because it's less wear and tear on the vehicle. It is a long journey, and also the drive is quite boring, so I'm well up for the ferry, but unfortunately they didn't have any pet-friendly cabins.
No pet-friendly cabins until mid-March, and obviously we need to be in the UK before then, because we've got quite a few things that we're actually getting done whilst we're in the UK, which is why we're heading back. And I know some of you guys will be like, why are you going to the UK? Why aren't you just going from Germany or somewhere? And there's quite a few reasons.
One of them, obviously I mentioned, well, more than a mention earlier in this video, all about the visa. And if there's one thing I would say, if you're applying for a US visa, get your interview sorted as soon as possible, because we have left it pretty last minute. but that's just because we didn't know when we were going to be back in the UK.
No, and the thing is, with visas, with all that kind of stuff, we are going to talk a lot more about why we're getting a visa for the US, not the ESTA, and all that sort of stuff in the visa video that we do, because it's not that interesting, but it's also quite interesting if you've never gone down that route before. And obviously, actually, last year we did have to go to the US Embassy in Brussels for our visas for that show that we were on.
So we're seasoned pros now,
Yeah,
going to different embassies, getting our visas sorted. And we're going to bring you guys along with us to Belfast.
Yeah, and then there's other things that we've got to do in the UK. Like, one of my fillings just fell out, perfect timing, so I need to go to the dentist.
I haven't been to the dentist, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be horrified, but 6 years I haven't been to the dentist. My teeth seem fine.
That is such a lie. I literally booked the appointment and he goes, my teeth feel like they're aching, you know, and I'm like, really? So I think Theo needs to see the dentist.
I think that was because you booked it, and I was like, you know what, in my mind my teeth are now hurting because I don't want to go. But I haven't not gone because I didn't want to go. It's just we've been travelling, and it's really hard in the UK to pin down an appointment for the dentist. And you have to go for regular checkups and stuff, otherwise they just kick you off their books.
Also, who likes going to the dentist? I don't. I avoid it as much as I can.
The dentist is horrible.
Yeah, nightmares. I don't even want to think about it.
Fingers crossed, it's all going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, and also, we're going to the dentist on my birthday. Happy 31st birthday, Bee. Getting a new filling. So that's fantastic.
And then Ginjey's got to go to the vets.
Yeah, she needs to have a health check to make sure she's okay to fly. I mean, she totally is. She doesn't have any issues at all, but we'll find out when we go to the vets. I'm sure it'll be fine.
She's looking quite trim at the moment as well.
She
I think all that running around on the land and hunting about for different small mammals that she does on the land, she's definitely shredded some weight.
So I'm really looking forward to getting back to the UK, seeing family and friends.
I mean, I'm not, because
Theo's
of the
not.
weather.
The weather looks absolutely insane.
Well, I've got the best tan at the moment. And Ginjey, what are you doing?
I said, are you blocking her water?
No,
You're blocking her water? Oh no.
So we just had to cut there for a moment because the washing bag that we just did, as you saw, was in the way of Ginjey's water, and she managed to pour the cup all over the floor.
You're blaming her.
I'm not blaming her. It was my fault.
He put the bag on her water bowl, knocked it over.
I can't even remember what we were speaking about.
We were just kind of waffling. We were telling them what's going on.
There's lots of things to do when we get back to the UK. I was saying I wasn't looking forward to going back because of the weather. I've got a lovely tan. We've been having perfect weather in Portugal. And I looked at the weather forecast and it says there's snow in the UK.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've actually both got jumpers on, which means that
it's
the weather's
freezing.
Yeah, it's really cold. It's like Baltic.
I'm gonna have to dig out my Indie Projects beanie very soon.
Get the beanie back on. So yeah, I mean, the next video, I'm looking forward to what's coming up. This year's just going to be absolutely
So much excitement.
insane, and we can't wait to bring you guys along with us.
Yep, you guys are there for the ride, so tune in for the next video to see what we're up to.